Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Scary Shorties wouldn't exist without you, the fans. Please like and follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen, and share the show with your friends to help us grow. Thanks, guys. The Real Sleepy Hollow, written by M.H. Rose, read by Drew Grimm. In this world there are many stories told, shared, and remembered, passed down from generation to generation. They are our legends, folklore, and fairy tales. You might think you know all the stories by heart, but would it shock you, dear reader, to hear that you don't know the whole truth? That the 200-year-old tale of the legend of Sleepy Hollow is nothing but a web of half-truths and lies? Only I remain to reveal what truly happened in that quiet hamlet of New York. If you should stumble upon these writings, you will know the truth as well. The year was 1781, a time when I crossed paths with a man named Ichabod Crane, marking the beginning of my life story and its eventual end. As a young soldier, I felt a strong bond with the small town of Sleepy Hollow. My regiment had encamped on the eastern bank of the Hudson River in the early years of the war. I had never forgotten its scenic beauty and vowed to return should I survive. After 8 years of fighting, we finally tasted triumph at the Battle of Yorktown. With the war over and weary from battle, my thoughts turned northward, back to the little hamlet surrounded by trees and rich farmlands. I rode toward my new home in New York, towards a new life and its inevitable conclusion, though I didn't know it at the time. My horse, a strong 5-year-old stallion, was the best I ever had the honor to ride, standing 16 hands tall and packed with muscle. I named him Jasper. Together, we endured the last year of the war. As a dispatch rider for my brigade, we made a fine team. I was thrilled when my captain informed me that I could keep him his reward for my excellent service. While crossing the Maryland-Delaware border, a small wagon sped past me, carrying a screaming woman clutching her infant. Without hesitation, I spurred Jasper into action, pushing him hard until we matched the wagon's pace. Leaping onto the cart, I fought to keep my balance as I reached for the reins. Finally, I was able to bring the thundering wagon to a halt. The frantic woman, wild-eyed and gesturing, pointed back in the direction she had come from. Her child had been thrown from the cart, and she was in a panic. I found her son a mile back and brought the scraped and bruised boy back to her. She thanked me over and over, shyly revealing her empty pockets. In the little wagon behind her was everything she and her family owned in the world. I kindly bowed to her and tried to explain that reward was not needed. She bends down and unties a soft, worn leather pouch from her waist. With a gesture, I lean forward, and she places it around my neck. She speaks words in a language I don't understand. Then, placing her hand over my heart, she says 2 words in English: protection and life. With bread and apples in hand, we part ways as I continue north toward my chosen home. Many jobs needed to be filled after 8 years of war, as manpower was in demand everywhere. I had landed a well-paying blacksmith apprenticeship on a stunning estate owned by the most influential family in Sleepy Hollow. The Van Brunts' wealth was renowned throughout Westchester County. Not only would I have my own private quarters, but Jasper would also be fed and housed at no expense. The first Van Brunt I would be introduced to called himself Brom Bones. It sounded like an ogre's name to me, and his appearance matched the nickname. Brom had an enormous forehead, unibrow, no chin, and eyes too close together. His clothes, however, were the best money could buy. He spoke with an air of privilege and authority. His questions were courteous but contained no warmth or humor. Jasper and I followed him to the most breathtaking estate I had ever seen. Our new home was a Bavarian castle, dismantled piece by piece, shipped to New York and rebuilt as a fortress, with turrets and a drawbridge. Led by Brom along a winding cobblestone path, we arrived in front of 2 towering doors. Before being let in, a pretty girl arrived in her horse-drawn carriage. Brom Bones lit up with delight, dramatically bowing low and sweeping his hat off in greeting. To my amazement, the girl actually swooned with delight, blushing from head to toe, as he took her hand to steady her from the carriage. I was so stunned by this little scene unfolding that I was left utterly speechless. Guiding her to take his arm, Brom turns to me. He informs me his Christian name was Abraham Van Brunt, and that I would soon be escorted inside. The monster of a man then leads the girl away, all while she giggles and swoons over him. I stood there dumbfounded, until a well-dressed upper servant approached me with a kind greeting. He directed a stable boy to escort Jasper to his new quarters, while I was guided to mine. That night I laid awake excited for my new life. I also couldn't forget that beautiful girl, or the fact that she was smitten with Brom Potato Face. In the morning, I would be introduced to a host of master blacksmiths to begin my schooling. I had much to think about, but something about Brom Bones was unnerving me. The weeks that followed only deepened that feeling. I threw myself into my new craft with determination, earning the approval of my teachers. I quickly demonstrated skill in keeping the forge fire steady, and was always the first to clean it or fetch water when required. It was everything I ever wanted, but any joy I found in my new work was gradually overshadowed by the sheer oddity of my living situation. It wasn't just Brom Bones who consumed my thoughts anymore, but the entire family. Every Van Brunt I encountered seemed just as monstrous as the one before. What made it even stranger was the way in which people spoke of them. The townsfolk, the servants on the estate, even my own blacksmith masters. They would gossip of their beauty, and not in jest. They spoke of Brom Bones as if he was Hercules himself. And his sisters? They were Brom with women's wigs. It tore at my mind. No one ever saw them the way they were. Only I did. Lying in bed, I run my fingers over the amulet around my neck, certain now that it shields me from something sinister. I've explored most of the property, but one place remains off limits: the Rose Garden, which only a Van Brunt is permitted to enter. I keep going back and forth, unsure of what to do. Finally, I make a quiet promise to myself. Tonight, I will explore the Rose Garden. If I find nothing unusual, I'll fully embrace my new life and let go of what others seem to overlook. I quietly make my way to the stables and retrieve Jasper. If I uncovered anything suspicious, we would ride straight to Army headquarters in Morristown. I wish I could trust the constable here, but like everyone else, he is tied to the Van Brunts, as if he were a branch on their twisted, monstrous tree. I keep Jasper outside the back gate and make my way into the orchard. The rose garden sat directly in the middle, surrounded by beautiful marble walls and a massive pumpkin patch. I quietly approach the outer wall and stop. I can hear conversation now, and someone is crying. It's a man, weeping for his life. I fight the urge to rush in. I manage to climb the top of the wall and perch myself. What I witness next shakes me to my soul. I can see half a dozen Van Brunts holding torches, surrounding a man on his knees. Behind them is a giant iron cage. Inside that cage sat a massive man with the head of a bull. I brace myself against the shock and focus on listening to the conversation.
Please, sir, I love her. I don't understand any of this.
Of course you don't, my dear school teacher. That's why I'm going to tell you, to explain why you must die tonight. Consider it a gift to honor the love you have for our lovely Katrina. You'd be heartbroken to know she only has eyes for my son. But that doesn't stop her from bringing us lovesick little sacrifices like yourself, does it?
Sacrifice? Please, sir, I beg, I won't.
Now let me begin. 1,500 years ago, during the reign of the Holy Roman Empire over the civilized world, this tale begins. Our ancestors of Spanish heritage were brought as slaves to serve. We had been herdsmen and cattlemen for countless generations. One of our ancestors found himself in the depths of the Colosseum during the era of gladiators, tasked with tending to a mysterious beast. In the damp, shadowy dungeon, the creature was bound in heavy iron chains. He was shocked to see a mutant, half man, with the head and tail of a bull. Feeling great pity for the creature, my kinsman tended to it, cleaning and grooming it, though always with its chain securely fastened. My ancestors' compassion only deepened, and when rumors spread that the jealous Roman emperor planned to have the beast killed, an escape plan was formed. Late at night, my ancestor slipped into the dungeon to free the creature, but as he entered the beast's cage, he was stunned to his core when the bull's head spoke to him. I am a willing beast in chains. In exchange for granting my master's perceived beauty and immense fortune, I remain here. I have only one condition. Every 30 days, I must be given an opportunity and unchained to hunt and feed. Any attempt to restrict my hunt has a final and deadly consequence. It is this consequence the Roman Emperor fears most. When the truth of the murderous pact was revealed, and my ancestor agreed to the monthly arrangement, they fled Rome together, never to return. The Van Brunt family would thrive for every generation after. The deaths attributed to us are too many to count. With each generation born into the pact, we have no choice, you see.
Please, sir, I beg you, I won't tell anyone.
I know this, my dear school teacher. I have told you these secrets knowing full well you will take them to your grave. Don't drown yourself in pity, Mr. Crane. Each generation of my family grows more inhuman than the one before. Our wealth is certainly real, but if you could see what we truly look like, you might not find my friend behind us so terrible after all. Our family can never stop the beast. To do so would be our own doom. He will continue to hunt and collect his trophies. No one has ever lived to tell our secret. However, I am not heartless or a bad sport. A gentleman's 2-minute head start will be given to you. I watch as Brom Bones unties the schoolteacher's hands. I know the man, Ichabod Crane. He was a regular at the tavern, and we had shared drinks and conversations many times over the past month. He was deeply in love with the beautiful girl Katrina, the one I had seen with Brom. I roll on my back and begin loading my flintlock. I can hear poor Ichabod running before he gets too far away. I hear them laughing now. My blood boils. These foul things are sheltering in the country I bled for. I spring down from the wall with a thunderous yell and make sure to aim directly at the Van Brunt who was speaking. To my satisfaction, the clan of ogres shriek in fear. Even Brom Bones drops to his knees with his hands held high. The beast in the cage doesn't move, though. Ah, the soldier. I've heard whispers that your curiosity had been growing. Tell me, do you have Romanov blood in your veins? We always seem to have trouble with gypsies and their peasant magic. I see you for what you are, a monstrous craven and coward, a foul invader who brought a monster to my country. Indeed we did, soldier, but if you intend to save Mr. Crane, you have very little time. Soon the moonlight will be perfect, and the beast will let himself out. We don't control it. The pumpkins and roses help some, but when he hunts, you better not stand in his way. The beast begins to stand in the cage, and my instincts force me to steal a torch and flee towards Jasper. I hear a foul scream let loose behind me. I ride hard and find Ichabod not far away. He is scared and frantic, but he recognizes me. We ride hard for half a mile before we hear it. Thunderous steps and heavy breathing, closing in strong behind us. I risk stopping Jasper and turn to see. The Minotaur is charging on all fours, an axe clenched in its teeth, and it's catching up fast. I dismount and urge Ichabod to ride to safety. He's frantic and terrified, but he still hesitates. I try to explain as calmly as I can. The 2 riders won't be able to escape, but one might. He still looks uncertain. He knows I won't survive. His sorrowful eyes convey a gratitude that his words never could. I kiss Jasper on the forehead goodbye, and I command him to go. With torch and musket, I stand ready to face my fate. I did not flee before the British Army, and I will not flee from this monster either. I managed to shoot it square in the chest, though little help it did me. The beast pounced me like a lion. I don't even think I had time to feel the axe. When I awoke again, the beast was gone, and so was my head. I could still see and hear. My shoulders felt like they were carrying a head, but when I reached to touch my face, there was nothing there. My leather pouch around my neck was still there. I reached for it and thought, protection and life. The gypsy's blessing had turned into a curse, but I will make that curse fall upon the Van Brunts. Next month, there will be another hunt, and this time, the Minotaur will not be able to take my head. I will battle him with flaming pumpkins, and I will starve him. He will be forced to hunt a Van Brunt instead. I will continue this until every Van Brunt has been hunted down by their own beast. When they are finished, I will claim the Minotaur's head last. My name is unimportant. Just know this, dear reader. I am a soldier and a patriot. I am the Headless Horseman.